Yo, what's good? This is Big C's Leo, and we are in the basement. You dig? All right, people. This is what it is, man. This is literally my first podcast, and I'm broadcasting out there to everyone. So we're gonna get it cracking today. My podcast is basically gonna specialize in multiple things. Well, first off, before I get into that, I want to thank all the feedback. I want to thank all the people who gave me feedback for the last couple of weeks as I got this thing rolling. I want to thank all the people who showed love and positive encouragement, even the negative ones. The negative ones fuel me more than the positive ones, honestly. Thank you for that. I need that. I need that push. You dig? And of course, thank you to my wife, for having my back in this whole situation. Okay, now we got that out the way. First of all, this podcast is going to explore so much. Periodically, I'm going to have guests. I'm going to have my boys. I'm going to have my wife. I'm going to have some family on, and we're going to get at you. We're going to give you some information, and we're going to do a little research and try to help each other out, and we're going to give all our opinions. Basically, on this show, we're always going to have my perspective. My perspective on many things like politics, sports, religion, family, pop culture. Nothing is off the table. We're going to discuss, we're going to dissect, and we're going to talk about everything. One thing I want to make sure that I'm able to do is to basically try to be more positive than negative. I'm never going to judge anyone's perception on this show. I want to make sure that everybody's perception is taken, serious. Even if I totally disagree with it, I still want to be able to, at least understand perception. Okay. All right. Today we have a couple of topics I want to talk about, and these topics are what's going on in the world today, and it all surrounds mostly sports or football. The biggest topic is, of course, the NFL draft for the last couple of days. So basically, the NFL draft basically surrounded around the Shedeur Sanders show. All right. This weekend was a hell of a ride. It was a hell of a ride watching the NFL draft. I don't think I've ever watched past 2 days in the NFL draft. Of course, I watch my Bears first couple picks all the time. I watch a couple teams that need a couple players I like in college. I'll watch and look where they go. But the saga and the disappointment with Shador this weekend was pretty embarrassing for the NFL. But he was chosen. First of all, you're talking about a young 23-year-old black man who comes from a great family. He has a very strong father. He has a very involved father. He's been rich before he came into this earth. He was born rich. He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He's no thug. He's no gangster, as opposed to what you may believe the way he acts. Well, that's not gangster to me, but you might think it is a little crass or gangster, whatever, however you want to look at it. But this kid is a silver spoon baby. Second of all, his confidence just bleeds all over the page, bleeds onto everyone. His play, the way he plays football, just bleeds across the field. He's always been a leader. He's always been a leader. I would say he's always been a winner, but his college career, I mean, he made improvements to the team, but that's not what his records is not what I classify as a winner. All right. Shador was chosen, picked in the fifth round of the 2025 NFL draft. He was projected at the end of the NCAA season to maybe go in the top 5, 10. He went 144th. Do you guys understand that? He was projected to go in the top 10. He was chosen as the number 144th pick in the NFL draft. I did my research on the teams. Well, I'm a very, in tune NFL watcher and gambler, and I played football all my life, all the way through college, so I'm in tune. He easily can play or compete for a starting position and maybe 7, 8, 9 NFL teams, maybe. I'm being generous because of his name brand. Maybe 3 or 4, they need him from my point of view. They need him. Okay. So you would think one of those teams have to fill major holes. They have a couple, step in quarterbacks, or you have a quarterback that's consistent that you want to bring in, but you still have certain holes to fill, like Pittsburgh, you have to get a running back, or other teams, you have to get different positions because you've lost those positions, or those positions, those lack of that position became a problem in 2024. I understand with your first or second pick. I don't understand the second pick. I understand with your first pick, maybe your second pick, that you're like, well, we don't need a quarterback. If you do not need a quarterback, I understand that. But if you're a team that need a quarterback and you didn't take Shedeur Sanders for whatever reason during the first two rounds, obviously none of us in social media or the real world knows why. I've heard several certain things. I know the other day I misquoted myself. I said Shedeur was an average quarterback on an average team. I was wrong. I stand corrected. Shedeur Sanders is a good quarterback on an average team. He was a good quarterback on an average team. So therefore, whenever you're a conference player of, are you a player of the conference, you are considered the best quarterback or the leader in that conference at your position. So when it came out a couple of weeks ago, the Shedeur had a horrible formal interview. Take it from someone who interviews people and hires people and trains people. I've seen some pretty brutal interviews. I've seen interviews where people come in with their resume and everything on their resume, the college they went to, everything they have fits my job, fits the position I'm hiring for. But when you come in sweatpants for a professional position, when you come in and you're 15, 20 minutes late, when you come in smelling like weed, or you come into our profession and you don't even know what you're applying for. You don't know why you're there. I love confidence. You have to sell yourself. Coming through the door with confidence is a great thing. And for me, I wouldn't have a problem with the confidence. The issue would be if you felt that we were not, this position is beneath. Let me try to elaborate a little bit on that. If you feel like this is not a place that you want to continue your career on and you want to be known for, sometimes, that might bleed out in your responses or your mannerisms or how you carry yourself. Now, like I say, the person who came out and said it was anonymous, so, they didn't, honestly, I don't have a problem with that. Because if he comes out and states his name, America is going to bury him. Everybody's going to bury him. He's going to play Russian roulette with his career. So I don't mind him not saying his name. Most people do. I don't at all. Because people are ignorant and they'll bash him because of what he said, because of public opinion, which is. But anyway, so they said he had a horrible formal interview. That's one. For two, he didn't participate in the combine. And for a lot of players, that's not an issue because we've already seen what you put on tape. We've already seen your leadership. You've already talked to major people. You probably won't be around for more people to pick you, but you don't have to really showcase your skills for everyone. So that was part two. He really didn't showcase his skills to everyone, and I have no problem with that also. It is what it is. You're, Shedeur Sanders. You don't have to. And the third thing is, Deion Sanders is your father. Deion Sanders is his father, and that's one of the issues. Out of those three things, those are the issues that caused Shedeur Sanders to be chosen by the Cleveland Browns. Let's get an applause for the Cleveland Browns. Sorry, that's a laugh. Not a laugh, applause. All right. So we're not laughing at the Cleveland Browns in that pick. We actually celebrating it. Okay. Well, congratulations, Shedeur. It's a blessing from God to be playing the NFL. It's a blessing to God to be chosen to be one of the top quarterbacks in the world. It's a blessing from God. And I truly believe that he's going to 100% take advantage 100% of this situation. I think that if he's given an opportunity or when he's given an opportunity, I think he will make the best of it. Honestly do. But you are playing for the Cleveland Browns, which is pretty damn tough. In the last 20, 25 years, Cleveland Browns have had 40 quarterbacks start at quarterback. Do you understand that? For the last 40 years, 23, 22, they've had 40 quarterbacks start. Okay, if you go to a team, if there's two or three teams in the NFL that you do not want to go to as a rookie quarterback, number one is the Cleveland Browns. and somewhere between 2 and 3 and 4, it might be my Chicago. That is a tough situation you're put in. They already have what, 5 starting quarterbacks on the roster. It's almost like fantasy football, right? You get to a point when you pick your players and you have your positions filled up and you probably won't need another quarterback. We're going to run with these 4. We paid Deshaun Watson $400 million, how much, however, $200 million, how much ever he's getting paid, and he's hurt. We brought in Flacco, who's had a great career, Super Bowl winner, great backup. We have, I forgot the kid's name. He's okay. He's a journeyman. He's a backup quarterback. He's okay. And then they made 2. They picked one before Shedeur in the draft this year, and then they picked Shedeur. So now you just stockpile, which is Cleveland. I mean, Matt, they've had 40 starting quarterbacks over the last 20 years since 2005. They've had 2 winning seasons in 20 years. Do you understand? They've had 2 winning seasons in 20 years. So the last 2 decades, I think it's twice that they've won. In 2006 they won 12 games. Yeah, I'm almost positive. In 2006 they won 12 games. Sorry, I'm wrong. In 2006 they won 4 games. Sorry. In 2007 they won 10 games, and in 2020 they won 11 games. So they won 10 and 11 games. That's the best records they've had in 20 years. It's going to be an uphill battle with Shedeur, but I wish him all the best, and I hope God continues to bless him, and I hope he represents over in Cleveland. So we're going to transition a little bit. On this podcast, I always want to try to be positive and point out the positivity in most things. Some things are going to be harder than others. Some political issues, some things we got going on are going to be pretty tough to basically exploit the positivity of that subject. And this is one of those subjects. For the second portion of this podcast, we're going to discuss Mr. Shannon Sharpe. I was tuned into Shannon Sharpe maybe 1989, 90, 91, 92, 93. The years start to mix up on you after decades. So maybe from 88 to 95, I learned of Shannon Sharpe. I first knew about the Sharpes because, of course, I'm from Illinois, so I first learned out about the Sharpes with his brother, Steerley, in Green Bay. Hell of a receiver. Nice, strong, played big, fat. He was okay fast, but had sneaky speed. He was a baller. He's currently in the Hall of Fame now. He was recently voted in the Hall of Fame. So when Shannon came in, everybody automatically said, oh, that's Steerley's brother. He must be nice. They come from the same pedigree. So I got a chance to watch him grow in the NFL and play well and win a couple of Super Bowls, win 2 or 3 Super Bowls. And he had a beautiful career. He went into the broadcasting business, and he's done very well for himself. He has a talent for entertainment. Me personally, that's what I think. He has recently, moved networks and has done very well for himself. Right now, his platforms, his podcast, his talk show podcast, him on ESPN, he has made transitions that I don't think we've ever seen before from an ex-sports star. Honestly, I don't think we've ever seen that before. And now, when he's at his strongest that we've seen, in the words of Denzel, that's when the devil comes for you. He was recently brought up in a situation that could possibly destroy his sports TV career. They could possibly destroy his image, and also they can possibly destroy his pocket. Now, as far as his freedom or anything like that, I don't think that's on the table because of the allegation. But this is one thing I'm not going to do on this show. I will not give a platform to people whose whole goal is to bring another person down. Example, we have so many men, so many people, I'm going to say people because it doesn't always have to be men, that are caught up in situations where they are set up to be caught up in situations. The person comes into their life to extort them or set them up so they look bad in front of the world. I'm tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. I would not get down on that. I'm not going to destroy him because you got a person who came out of left field who originally came into his life because she was looking for the come up any way she could. She was looking for the come up in multiple ways: a payday, a baby, or a lawsuit, or a catch you up day. And it looked like he got caught up by the ladder. It's looking that way, or potential. I'm not gonna glorify her. I will negatively on this show about people like that. If your whole goal is to destroy a person, not no, I'm not talking about females who get brutalized, raped. No, let me rephrase. I'm not talking about people who are sexualized, brutalized, raped. I'm not talking about those people. I'm not talking about the ones who are genuine and go into a situation with, with sincerity and integrity. I'm talking about those wolves who come into a situation trying to get something for free, trying to get a hustle. I'm not going to sit there and listen to that person or entertain that person when I know that they came into the situation to catch you up. If they come into a situation to catch me up, why would I entertain it? So I'm not going to knock him for what he did. I'm not going to knock him for the age. I'm not going to knock him for being a white girl. I'm not going to knock him for nothing. Because honestly, I don't think he did anything wrong. Now, yeah, he talked about choking. Yeah, you're a little freak. Sometimes ain't nothing wrong with a little choking. I'm just saying. But I'm not gonna knock. But what I will say is I hope that everything work out for him, and I hope he continues to be, the personality that he has been the last 6, 7, 8 years. All right. So at this time, I'm gonna wrap it up. But I usually every day I want to wrap it up with something positive. I want to wrap it up with a quote. But before I say that, let's make sure you guys subscribe, like this, comment, give me some ideas, give me some constructive criticism, feedback, whatever. Give me whatever. I'll always need topics. I'll take topics, whatever you want. Subscribe, like the channel. I got the whole thing set up. Please, please show love and let me know, and give me some pointers. And I'm with it, baby. We're going to do it. As far as that positive note, positive quote, believe you can, and you're halfway there. God bless you guys. Thank you for listening.